I want to, as you can tell from the title of this video, give you evidence of something I wish I knew many, many years ago. It would have saved me so much suffering. And that is that there is a bottom to emotional pain. 12 years ago, I was in the south of France at a retreat with my teacher, Leonard Jacobson. And I remember we were in this small group in a beautiful setting, kind of like this really, really beautiful setting. And the big retreat group broke out into small groups. And so he was with one of the small groups. And basically in that small group, I admitted to him, I confessed to him that because at the time I was suffering so dramatically and I was secretly romanticizing suicide. It's hard for me to say that out loud, but you know, it's important to talk about these things. And so 12 years ago, I looked at him and confessed that. I admitted it to him. I said, I just don't want to be here anymore. And he looked at me and he said, Veronica, why wouldn't you want to be here? This is heaven on earth. And I'll never forget how much pain I felt inside. And although I felt like I was in hell with so much anxiety, I had no money, I had no power, I was totally lost. I was starting my life from ground zero. I felt so isolated, alone, and I was suffering so much, and I couldn't bear the amount of suffering I was going through emotionally. But what happened to me that day is I remember looking at him when he said those words, and although I didn't feel them as true for me, I could tell that it was 100% true for him. I could see in his eyes the sparkle. I could feel in his presence that this, where we are, is heaven on earth. Not there in Provence, France that day, wherever we are in the moment, here on earth. And so I proceeded to go on, and he was helping to facilitate me like he so masterfully does, compassionately, and helping me see that there was nothing to fix and that there was this like reservoir of emotion from the past, from my childhood, that was just needed to come out, and I needed to learn to master my mind and ego, and that's what he has helped me to do for, God, 15, 16 years now. And I left that retreat, went on my merry way, and I remember thinking to myself, that might be true for him, and that's great. But for me, I eventually got to the place where I realized that I would have this deep, deep pain, emotional pain, for the rest of my life. I felt like there was a stain on my soul. That's the only way I can put it. I felt like there was this wound that would never heal, and that it was just something I had to bear as karma or something of that nature for the rest of my life. And what's interesting is that level of acceptance was actually a step. It was actually really important to just accept, if I feel this way forever, that's okay. And so I eventually started to get really empowered. I wrote a book. I started helping clients, created a certification program. My life started to blossom. I was able to live this really incredible life and have all kinds of breakthroughs, find my own financial power, my own sovereignty, my own confidence. I had like no self-worth back then when I was at that retreat. And my life changed, you know, it radically changed. But I never in a million years believed that there was a bottom to pain. So long story short, last year, I had a pretty radical experience. A very, very painful trigger came up with the source and origin of the very people who, you know, kind of created the pain in my life in the first place. It was one of the most challenging 2 to 3 months of extreme rage. I was going through extreme pain, all this abandonment, all these old emotions coming to the surface. And I eventually broke through, and something cut. There was like an energy that cut and cleared. And ever since, this is over a year ago, I have felt incredibly peaceful, clear, clean, present, alive, grateful, empowered, like I'm in the world, but I'm not of this world, if that makes any sense. I am totally engaged in my life and in my business, but it doesn't own me the way it used to. People can come, people can go, and it has nothing to do with me. There's just a level of freedom and sovereignty that I feel that's incredibly beautiful. Now, I just came back from the same retreat I was at 12 years ago. So I go to Provence, I go to sit with Leonard, my teacher, and his retreats have always been a place where I go, and many people go, to have these massive healings. You know, these emotions bubble up to the surface because we're in such a deep state of presence with him that the emotions that are repressed from the past tend to come up, and he's a master at facilitation and compassionately helping us move through it. So the emotions will bubble up and people have these massive breakthroughs. Every single retreat I've had massive, massive healings, breakthroughs, and I come out like next level. Well, a couple weeks ago, I'm sitting there day one of the retreat, kind of waiting for this big pow, like this big emotional outburst and healing. But I'm just sitting there watching person after person after person go up to the stage and have these transformations with him. Day two, same thing, people having these big emotional healings, transformations. Day three, same thing. And I'm sitting there waiting for something lodged in my soul, like deep in my soul, to come up and come out. Nothing comes up, nothing comes out. Day four comes and I'm just sitting in this beautiful state of presence, and I raise my hand and I come up to the stage and I share with him that 12 years ago I had confessed to him that I didn't want to be on this earth anymore. And really what I was sharing with him was a huge thank you for his work, because what I've realized is that there is a bottom to emotional pain. That repressed pain from the past has emptied. It's gone. It's not that I don't feel emotions now in my present life, but there's nothing lingering from the past anymore. There's nothing that is now weighing down on me inside. It makes me available to my life fully, my relationships fully in the now. Very tearfully and with a lot of gratitude, I thanked him for his work. And it was a really beautiful exchange. And the reason I'm making this video is because afterwards people came up to me and they said, I've never heard that before, that there's a bottom to emotional pain. And I really want to thank you, because I never even considered that that was possible. Thank you so much for sharing. And another person would come up, thank you so much for sharing that. It really had an impact on me for many reasons, what you shared. So I wanted to make this video for you to let you know. And there's like two sides of this. One side is I'm hesitant to share that there's a bottom to emotional pain, because then the ego can get involved and be like, all right, I'm going to empty this pain out of my system and I'm going to be free. And then there's this agenda. But really, I think what worked for me is that I actually surrendered, and I believed that I would have this pain and wounding and emotional heaviness, repressed reservoir in my system for the rest of my life. And I finally got to a place where I was totally okay with that. I actually felt grateful, like it was always an opportunity to go deeper and to strengthen my emotional resolve and my presence and my confidence. There was always a gift in going through and working through my story in the past. And I think that's part of the secret, is like really, really coming into this radical level of self-acceptance, no matter how much is pouring out, no matter how much pain. But what I've come to realize, the other side of this, the reason I'm sharing this at the risk of someone's ego watching this and going like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of my pain. I really hope that doesn't happen. I hope that you're really hearing me, that that's important to like release that idea and just know that actually every single time that we face emotional pain, we are in a portal to joy. We are in a portal to deeper presence. We are in a portal to patience. We are in a portal, we are in training, we are in mastery. We go to school, right? We like volunteer to go to school, to college, to doctorate programs, master's programs. We go to school for like the first 12 years of our lives, and then we go for like another 8 years, some of us, right? Some just 2 years or 4 extra years. We go to school for like 20 years to learn stuff. Yet we're not willing to focus on our emotional intelligence for 20 years. Why not, right? So that perspective I just want to give you, because I think it will really help to loosen resistance. And suffering is nothing more than not wanting to feel what you're feeling. So then what happens is we go into overthinking, because that's the ego's strategy. Then we're spinning out in anxiety, trying to repress pain because we don't know how to be with it. And then that creates a disastrous life. Relationships that are at war, businesses that don't work, health that falls apart, really unhappy lives, depression, wanting to leave this earth for some of us. And it doesn't have to be that way. If you can take from this video and really hold this for your clients, if you coach clients or you're a healer or a therapist or whatever the case may be, that we came to this earth to learn some certain lessons and to enjoy our time here. But if we don't master our emotions, it's very, very hard to enjoy our lives here and live our full potential. But if we can frame the triggers that we have and all the emotional boot camp that we go through as educational, as inspirational, as transformational, as wow, like these 20 years, like, or 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, I think I might be a bit remedial. It takes me a long time, right? Maybe this whatever it was, 17 years, that's just what I needed to go through. That was like me going to school, to going to a doctorate program to get frickin' dangerously good in a beautiful way at being able to feel anything, being able to be thrown any kind of curveball, being able to be in any situation and find safety inside, to be my own safety, to release myself from the codependency of needing you to like me, anyone in my audience, my clients, my students, my family, my friends, my beloved. No one needs to agree with me. No one needs to validate me anymore. And that's what I want for everyone on this earth, is to realize that pain is not here to take us down. It's here to empower us. It's like going to the gym or going to a really fine educational institution where they are teaching us. Like when I studied martial arts for like 12 years. And do you know what, to get a black belt, what you had to do? You would get jumped. Literally, you didn't know when it was coming. This, like the highest dan black belts would come out of nowhere and they would attack you. And you had to find your way through that. It was that level of education, if you want to call it that, to see, are you really able to defend yourself? So in this case scenario, are you really able to be your own safety when you feel incredibly conflicted, threatened, in fear? Are you expecting the world out there to be your safety? If you are, you're probably suffering. I was expecting the world out there to rescue me, because I didn't believe I had the power to do so myself, because I felt worthless. It was so painful to believe that lie that I didn't even want to be here. Lies hurt. Truth will set you free. And so I want you to know right now, it is not your pain that is infinite. It is not emotional pain that is limitless. There is a bottom to that. You are infinite. You are limitless, and we are on this earth to remember who we are, that we are not our pain, we are not our thoughts, we are not even this body. We are freaking infinite. And when you tap that well of knowing, life becomes a joyride, just like these doggies who are just having the best time for no reason at all. Life becomes this. Are you open to this? Are you open to this level of joy in your life? Of feeling fantastic, even if it seems like the world is falling apart. There is a world hidden inside of this world. And what Leonard said to me that day, oof, Veronica, why wouldn't you want to be here? This is heaven on earth. I now know for myself that that's true. And I'm committed to sharing in all ways to help as many people remember that too. Because we came here to play, we came here to wake up, we came here to celebrate, we came here to shine, we came here to give our gifts, we came here to live our full potential. And there is no reason why you or anyone you work with, if you're a coach, shouldn't be living this way. It's just knowing how to navigate pain. If you know how to navigate pain, if you know how to become your own safety, if you know how to wake up to the present moment, which, by the way, Leonard Jacobson, I highly recommend, go to leonardjacobson.com. He has a retreat coming up in Asheville, North Carolina in the States. Jump on that opportunity. It's in September. He also has deep presence workshops on Sundays. Take the deep dive, my friends, and just know that whatever you're going through is a portal into what you actually want, and there is a bottom to emotional pain. So if you got something from this video, you can give it a thumbs up, ding. And if you want to subscribe, if you're not already part of this beautiful soul family, you can click the button, the subscribe button around here. I love you all so, so much. These are videos I make on soul-centered life and soul-centered business. And if you haven't already, definitely grab the frequency workshop that I give to you for free below in the description, so you can feel good no matter where you are or who you're with, no matter what's going on around you. I teach you exactly how to do that in the workshop below. All right, my friends, all my love, and I'll see you in the next video.